And welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. I wanted to hop in and do a quick Black Wealth confession. Someone sent in a Black Wealth confession earlier this week, and I thought I would answer the question out loud so that everybody can kind of hear the response. Now, those of you watching on Instagram, it keeps telling me I have a poor connection, so I don't quite know how to fix that. So let me see if I can hit a couple buttons here. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. And shout out the name of your city that you're from if you are watching from any cities that are interesting. Anyway, so let me go ahead and just read this question to you. Let's see. The question came, it's an anonymous question. Black Wealth Confessions is where you can send me anonymous, not questions, but really just your story, your Black Wealth story, so we can learn from your journey. And this person says, I am almost 62 years old. I have a pension less than $300,000 and a 401k less than $200,000. I want to retire. I have about $30,000 in credit card debt and just leased a new car. I'm thinking about filing bankruptcy and returning the car because I think that's the only way I can afford to retire. Also, I owe $21,000 in taxes. At this point, I'm just working to pay taxes and rent. I'm divorced. My ex wants us to remarry. He's a vet and just bought a house. He retired early, makes more retired than when we worked. So that's a great question. So let me go ahead and pop in. And, I'm really curious. What are the average assets at retirement in the U.S.? The average assets for a head of household, the median net worth of a head of household in the United States for age 55 to 64 is 212,000. Now the average is over 1 million, but the median is more reflective of the population. That means that the middle person in the United States, when they're 55 to 64, has 212,000 in assets that they can use to retire. Now, from what I understand, this sister has a lot of assets relative to most people. She has less than 300,000 in her pension and a 401k of 200,000. So that is about $400,000 to $500,000 in assets. You can retire off that. I don't see why you couldn't find a way to make that work, or at least go into semi-retirement. Remember, retirement does not have to be an on-off switch. It doesn't have to be either you're working all the time or you're not working at all. Retirement could be like a mix. It could be a blend. You can mix it up. You can retire a little bit, maybe instead of working 50 hours a week, you're working 20 hours a week. Or instead of working the job that's paying the most money, you're doing something that you actually enjoy that pays you less money. So I don't think that retirement, just this idea of sitting around and doing nothing with your time, I don't think that's even healthy. I think literally there's probably studies out there that show, I think there are studies that show that if you got nothing to do, you got no sense of purpose, you got no reason to get out of bed in the morning, you're more likely to die. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but you're more likely to die when you give up your sense of purpose. So find something that's going to keep you alive. So you don't have to retire completely. But really, even if the sister decides she doesn't want to work anymore, I don't see why $400,000 to $500,000 isn't enough money for you to find a way to survive, especially if you allow your money to work for you. One thing that's interesting is she mentioned she's paying taxes and rent. So I'm very curious to know why at 62, you're still stuck sort of paying rent. Not to make fun of that. There are a lot of people who are not homeowners in their 60s, and I'm not knocking that at all. But you have enough money where you can put a down payment on a house. So I don't understand why you'd be paying rent because that doesn't seem to be a good financial outcome for you. I think that paying the mortgage on the house allows you to build that equity up in the house, which gives you more financial security. Because what you're really worried about is liquidity, making sure that in case things go bad, you're going to be good. If things go bad, you're still going to be good. So keeping that liquidity or having that financial cushion can be extremely beneficial. And that might come through having home equity that you can borrow against in case things get bad. Now, to that last question, should I get back with my ex? My ex wants to remarry. Now, the interesting thing is that she describes her ex and she says that you're divorced and he wants to remarry. He's a veteran. He just bought a house. He's retired. He retired early. He makes more money retired than he did when he worked. Well, you didn't say any reason why. What I'm wondering about is why did you divorce him in the first place, right? It seems like financially he's very solid. Financially, he's he's okay. Obviously, there's a reason you divorced him, and that's what gives me pause to say, why would you marry again to the person that you divorced earlier? Now, what can occur though is we can go on a journey. I talked to you guys the other day about how managing your relationships is an extremely important part of being able to manage your wealth. So perhaps your ex has grown, maybe he's evolved, maybe maybe you've learned a few things from each other, and or you learned a few things about life, or maybe you're going to therapy, and the therapist says, hey, if you fix this issue, you're going to be okay. So maybe that's it. Because I can tell you this: if you can find a person that is a good person for you to build with financially, it is so much easier to pay the bills when you got help. I'm telling you, just point blank. I know everybody thinks it's great to be able to be free and run around and have sex with who you want and all that. I don't disagree with that. I totally get that. But when you get to that point where it comes down to survival, it is easier to survive with a healthy, solid teammate. I already talked about this, so I'm not going to rehash that point, but I will say that you got to think about your relationships as part of your wealth building strategy. Your negative relationships will drain you. Your positive relationships will elevate you. Form healthy relationships with healthy people, and that's how you succeed. So that's my 2 cents on the issue. But I don't think that $400,000 is too little for her to retire on. Sure, maybe she should have more, but she could also have much less. I know a lot of people in their 60s that don't have $400,000 available in liquid assets. And so I think if you're able to find some way to generate some small amount of income that fits your lifestyle, that can pay most of your bills, and you use your retirement account as your financial security, that's what you need. You need the cushion in case things go bad. That's what a lot of people don't have. That's where a lot of people are in financial danger, is that they don't have a cushion. When you don't have a cushion, you are in trouble. So what you want to do is right now start thinking, how do I build a cushion? That means if you get a windfall, you get a raise, you use that to build your cushion. You get a big stack of money, something good happens, you get an extra 5 or 10,000 or 2,000 or 3. You're not thinking like, okay, let's run to the mall with it. You don't take your cushion and give your cushion away at the mall. You put your cushion up for a rainy day, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it always rains. It's always going to rain. It's always going to rain. I had a conversation with a young lady that I've mentored for years, and she was talking about something that happened, and it was a financial problem and everything else. And I was like, I said, gosh, it seems like your life is really hard and that things just don't seem to go well for you very often. She says, yeah, well, it wasn't my fault. I mean, this happened and he hit me with the car. So it couldn't have been, I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. And I'm like, yeah, you got very unlucky. And let me tell you something about life. You're always going to have bad luck. And the difference between people that get crushed by bad luck and those who are able to survive it is that there are some people who think that they can go through life and never have bad luck. And then there are other people who go through life assuming that at some point you're going to have bad luck. So the question to me is, what do you have in place to protect you when bad luck strikes? Bad luck will be coming to your house at some point. Are you ready? If you are not ready, then that means that you have prepared yourself to be struck down by the bad luck and to fail because of the bad luck. And I don't want you to fail. I want you to succeed. I want you to be safe, and I want you to be happy. That's just my 2 cents. So Ronnie says, I preached that to my wife about the rain coming. Yes. Rain is coming and winter is coming. Like in Game of Thrones, when they say Game of Thrones, winter is coming, winter is always coming. So when the sun is bright and shiny, don't do what the rest of these other fools do, where they out here making it rain. And yeah, man, woo, we doing good. You better not be making it rain. Yeah, those same people end up crying when winter comes. So always be prepared. That's my 2 cents. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys. Go to boycewatkins.com if you want to check out some of the free stuff we're giving away in the Black Business School. You get a copy of my book and get free information from the school. We have programs on everything from how to grow your own food to how to invest in the stock market. A lot of things come with a free trial, so you can try it out. So boycewatkins.com. If you're watching on Instagram, the link is in the bio. And so I'm going to go. Please hit the thumbs up before you go. And I will see you all soon. So take care. Have a good night. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.